Coach Karabo, thank you very much for your time. Congratulations, 2-0 win. What were your thoughts on the game?
A very difficult game, playing a number 3 team after playing another number 3 team the previous week. They just changed positions, so not an easy game. Midweek, we're chasing these guys coming from classes, to make it on time. We're able to do that. Credit to the guys availing themselves for these games. It was always going to test us, but you could see we did not start well in the first 20-25 minutes. As much as it was, I think, maybe a not so great warm-up, so to speak, and then we did not start very well. We did not start the game well, but we acclimatized away from home. We acclimatized, and after the 20th minute or so, we started getting into the game a little bit more. Look, when I look at the game overall, I still think that these midweek games are a test to everyone. These midweek games, playing 3 games in 6 days, because it's Saturday to Sunday, Wednesday, and then I think it's Saturday. So it's not easy. It's not easy. But you know what? We've got the squad. We are able to rotate the team. If you look at the 11, we've made 3 or 4 changes to the 11 that played on Sunday. So we could see that they could not maintain the level. We went 1 man down, but they still could not break us down. Their tempo was very low. We managed to close down the spaces that they wanted to use. We closed the center, forced them wide again, and it worked for us. But tempo-wise, credit to my guys, they maintained the tempo. They fought hard, they did not drop the tempo. And that's what we're asking for, That's what we're asking for from our guys. I think they did not raise the tempo. We got a red card with 30 minutes to go or more in the second half, but they could not break us down even then. So, yeah, credit to our boys, but I also think that they did not raise their level. They did not challenge us. If you look at the keeper, second half, I don't think he made even a save. He just collected balls that dropped in behind, so there was no real shot on target. He was not tested, so it just shows you that their box entries were not dangerous, and we handled them very well. So, look, we have to go recover now. We have to go recover once again. There's a match on Saturday, but I think a few rotations will do, just to refresh the squad, because the one thing that happens when you play these types of games is that you start getting injuries because of fatigue, fatigue-related injuries, and I think just refreshing the squad a little bit more for this Saturday will do.
Coach, you mentioned that games are coming in quick and fast, and that at times, many times, they were unable to break through. And it was actually the case on Sunday with Orlando Pirates. Yeah. But I've seen your team play. They can play. They can keep possession. They can move the ball around. They can make entries into the box and create chances. But the last 2 games I've seen, it seems as if you've set back, you've closed the spaces, the passing channels, make it difficult to, and then you play on the transition. Your players seem to be very quick on the transition, and they're able to carry for bit of distance and then get into the opposition box. Has the strategy changed, or is it a demand that has been forced upon you by the number of games that you are playing these days?
So it's basically we have to adapt to the imposed demand. We have to be specific about the opponent that we are going to play against. We have to really analyze them, break them down player for player, pound for pound against them. Are we stronger in certain areas, and in what ways? So some teams, what we will do is we will keep a low block, because we know that we have a good rest attack. We can counter, and we've got speed. So some games we will adjust. because we know that they push a high line, and we can exploit the high line with our pace, with our pinpoint passes, and just putting the pressure on the centre backs of opponents. Just like Orlando Pirates, they've got good playing centre backs, but I think under pressure 1v1, you could see as well today. Once we started, especially when we were one man down, we left one man up front who gave them problems. Once he started dribbling at them, they were starting to crack. So we will always analyze opponents and play to our strengths. We can adapt our team. We can adapt our team. The depth we have is quite good in terms of what type of football we want to play. So we can keep it, of course. And you could see in the game, there are moments where we keep it for prolonged periods of time. But yeah, we wanted to exploit the spaces behind them. Similar with Pirates, they at certain times would keep 3 at the back. So we had to try and use the spaces on the sides of those centre backs. And some instances it worked, some instances it didn't. But yeah, as I said, specific adaptation to the imposed demand, especially of the opponent. So the opponent demanded us to do certain things today, and we acclimatized very well and took advantage of spaces created or spaces left to exploit, and we did exploit those spaces. So yeah, I think the next game will probably be a different game. The next game will probably be a different game, because if you look at our structure as well, we changed the structure a little bit. We went with a 3-man midfield in the center, while most of the time we play with a 2-man midfield. So it's working for us, it's worked, and we can adjust it and adapt it anytime. So it's an advantage for us, really.
From a tactical point, and this is just for our own education.
Yes, sir.
And without you revealing too much of your tactics to the opponents, I saw it on Sunday, I've seen it today. That structure, if you can just expand on how you've structured it, because it's just difficult to go through it.
Yeah.
It forces them to go on the sides, but somehow they don't progress even on the sides. When they do go, they're unable to progress. Yeah. And whenever they try to play balls over the defense, you are sitting very low. It's practically impossible. Yes. And therefore they end up having to go back, play around. Yeah. How do you do that?
Yeah, it's funny you speak about that, because if you have to take a heat map or a pass map of Orlando Pirates and a pass map, a heat map of Stars of Africa, you'd see similar things, because we forced them wide. We created a structure where we closed the center and the half spaces. So we forced them into wide areas, and once they're in the wide areas, remember the line acts as a defender as well. It boxes them into a certain area where we're able to press them and get the ball, with fewer guys than what would happen in the middle. So in the middle, the spaces are a bit bigger, so you'll require more players spread out in order to close the areas or the lines to the forward passes. So we force opponents wide, use the line to basically press them in a corner, and it worked quite well. You could see most of our ball recoveries, especially on our right side, on their left side, we were able to recover a lot of balls there and transition from there. And they tried to switch the ball to the right. Once again, they found us ready with the man on the inside, creating those small triangles at the back. They want to cut the ball back, we are there. There's a man there. They want to progress into the half space. One of the centre backs is there. They want to go wide. Our wing back is there. So it's a tactic that, I'm not afraid to share. I will share with people, because there are facts in the game. There are eventualities in the game, and these things will happen. It's for people to come and analyze us. Yes, you say I mustn't give away too much, but you know what? The game is about space and time. Where's the most space? Where do you want to control the space? How much time do you want the opponent to have on the ball, and where, in which areas? So we let them have it in areas where they are not dangerous, and then in areas where they could be dangerous, we overload those areas. We push them wide, and that's where we recover most of our balls. So yeah, if you can look at their heat maps, both teams that we've played against, they could keep the ball. They've got good rotations, but If you look at it, it's a cup formation. You know, it's a cup heat map or a pass map. So it forces them wide, and when they come back again, it forces them wide again. They find us ready, and they could not penetrate with the cross pass, with the diagonal pass. So, yeah, I guess maybe you'd ask that question from the opponents: how is it that they could not penetrate us? You know, so. Yeah, we set up like that. They just couldn't penetrate, and if something works, you keep it.
Coach Karabo, thank you very much for that lesson. You've opened the class here. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we could be here forever. But thank you for having me, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.